here immersed in learning about marine life, climate change, and innovative agriculture. They will also learn about the hospitality business at the Birds and Bees Resort, which is a social enterprise operated by Michai, where profits directly benefit the school. This school has proven that children from all backgrounds can be taught how to be honest, resourceful, and well-rounded citizens. It is the hope of this school that other philanthropists will seek to replicate its revolutionary model, and by doing so, make the future a better place.
This school is changing the lives of so many people, young people, and is changing my life as well.
Children need to play. Everybody knows that. Children need toys, too. Every child should have a toy. This should be a rule. Wouldn't that be nice? My name is Molly. This is my village. Most of us don't have many toys. Our parents don't have much, and everybody's too busy working and can't afford toys. The truth is, we didn't grow up like you guys. Our parents have to work very, very hard just to buy food and clothes. We try to play with things around us. We do imaginary plays a lot. Most of us are really good at sports and outdoor stuff, like climbing trees, jumping rope, or playing ball. If you ever end up in Thailand, we can all play together. It won't matter if you don't speak any Thai. Still, some toys would be so nice. Everybody you know has toys. Nobody we know has that many. Adults might not realize it, but play is a child's work. It helps our imagination and lets us become more creative. Of course, not all of Thailand is like us. There are kids in cities that are not too different from yours, with all their toys and games that we just wish we could play with, even for just a week. A man named Mr. Michai noticed all these toys and came up with a great idea. He called it the Green Village Toy Library. Imagine your school library. Now imagine, instead of only books, the shelves are filled with toys. Well, that's what's happening in my village. Did you ever have to do community service for your toys? We, the kids, had a meeting and thought it's only fair that we help our parents out too. We're working on our community, planting trees, picking up plastic bags, collecting aluminum cans for recycling, accompanying our grandparents to the doctor's office, helping our younger sisters with their homework. And our reward? 1 week with anything we want from the toy library. Most of these toys have traveled long and far to get to our village. Some of them got here by buses. Many got here on planes. And thanks to that, there are more and more villages around Thailand where the children are building their own toy libraries. But we can't do all of this by ourselves. This is a project that involves the whole world. Our homes may not look like yours, but we're not so different. We want to play with toys just like you. We need to play. You don't just get sick from not eating or sleeping. You get sick from not playing as well. Please find some toys that you think we'll enjoy. Ask your parents if it's okay. Adults sometimes forget they were once children. Tell them you're sending toys to a library with more than books. And tell your friends that you're making the world more fun for everyone. Thank you, and I hope you come visit me and your toys in Thailand someday.
This is Sombat. While Sombat may seem an unlikely poster child for diversified farming, Thanks to the Village Development Partnership, he was able to install a water pump and diversify his crops from farming rice only, which is seasonal and generates income for part of the year. Now he grows mangoes, chilies, all types of vegetables, harvests fish, and has become a role model for other farmers in the area. However, the success story of Sombat is not the same for many people living in Southeast Asia. Approximately 8 million people in Thailand live on under $2 per day, with an even higher percentage of poverty in Cambodia and Laos. The majority of these people live in underdeveloped rural areas. Many residents of rural areas are forced to migrate to urban centers to try and get out of poverty through business. This includes working as taxi drivers, factory workers, construction laborers, and sometimes even in the sex trade. This migration results in long-term social problems, such as dysfunctional families and poor education for their children. Many of the poor cannot start their own businesses in their home villages because they lack the necessary business skills and do not have access to low-interest credit. They want to make a better life for themselves through the power of free enterprise, but they do not possess the initial capital to overcome the downward spiral of debt. The government tries to help the poor overcome poverty, but very often they give them a handout rather than an opportunity. The gap between governments and their public sector obligations and what is actually delivered can be quite wide in emerging economies. That is why Population and Development International, under the stewardship of Michai Viravaidya, has implemented the Village Development Partnership to address the need for villagers to have an opportunity to improve their quality of life and ensure a sustainable community. The Village Development Partnership is an integrated and unique approach to eradicating poverty through a partnership between a rural village and a company such as yours. It is a community-based empowerment program that provides opportunities for the poor to eradicate poverty through access to skills training, low-interest loans, and small business resources. The project has to do with shared opportunities and shared responsibilities. Most importantly, the villagers themselves manage it. The sponsoring company's involvement can be tailored to suit their CSR interests, but their most crucial step is providing the initial contribution so that villagers can harness the power of microcredit and entrepreneurship to improve their community. In this way, organizations are able to give something back to their community and their society that helps to advance the public interest for a project that has a good track record. Under Michai's leadership, this endeavor to foster sustainability from the ground up has been ongoing since 1974, with an initial focus on promoting family planning in Thailand. These efforts reduced Thailand's annual population growth rate from 7 children per family in 1974 to under 2 by 2005. Michai was also instrumental in combating the HIV/AIDS epidemic in Thailand by utilizing a unique approach to safe sex promotion, which the World Bank estimated at preventing over 7 million new HIV infections. Today, Michai's organization is the leading and most diversified NGO in Thailand, employing over 300 staff members and having 15 centers throughout the country. This enables the organization to effectively collaborate and monitor within the rural areas of Southeast Asia. Population and Development International and its partners have also provided training to other NGOs in virtually every other Asian country. The main focus of Population and Development International now is eradicating poverty and community empowerment through the Village Development Partnership. However, the sponsor can support a broad range of activities such as the Rice Academy and the Lamplamat Patana Primary and Secondary School. The VDP has been implemented in various stages in over 400 villages across Southeast Asia. The evolution of the Village Development Partnership Project clearly indicates that there are 5 key areas of need: community empowerment, economic development, environment, health, and education. The rural poor are in fact engaged in business and attempting to make a profit. However, they lack business skills and access to affordable credit to start up a small business and ensure a financially sustainable future.
Unless the poor have a chance to learn business, we call it our Barefoot MBA, and to have access to credit, they will never get out of poverty. We must get them out of poverty, and that's the way to do it.
The Village Development Partnership strives to help poor villagers become barefoot entrepreneurs so they can afford the basic necessities of life through new income-generating activities.
The biggest difference this has made in my life is that I am debt-free now. In fact, our entire village is debt-free thanks to the VDP program.
Ever since Nike sponsored a VDP for our village, I have taken out loans of $150 and have been able to set up my own income-generating activities, such as basket weaving. Now, I work from home and I fully support my wife and get to watch my grandchildren grow up. I would sell you a fan, but they are my best sellers and I ran out of them today. Come back next week.
The process begins with the Village Development Partnership staff selecting a poor village that is motivated in having an opportunity to improve their own livelihood. The village takes part in the election of the Village Development Committee, which is comprised of 4 subcommittees that all have equal male and female representation. This democratic process at the beginning ensures participation and instills a sense of ownership amongst the villagers for their community improvements.
I built a water pump and developed an irrigation system that is quite effective. I am now teaching people how to build the pumps and about irrigation. Now farmers can grow food in the dry seasons, which helps generate steady income.
The Village Youth Government is an essential component in the Village Development Partnership to ensure a sustainable future for those between the ages of 15 and 24. The Village Youth Government helps the children who are under 15 build the Green Village Toy Library, where a new generation of philanthropists is created who will be the protectors of the environment.
Our youth government is in charge of teaching children about environmental responsibility, health, and community building. We do this through the Green Village Toy Library. Kids pick up trash from around the village to be recycled or volunteer to help the elderly with chores. And in return, they get to borrow a toy for 1 week from the toy library.
A couple of years ago, we discovered that the canal in our village was running uphill, and as a result, we had very little water in the village. We received a GPS through an environmental project, so we focused on doing some research with it. We also used the internet for research and utilized various technologies developed by the king. With this knowledge, we defined the ideal trails for new canals. The Royal Irrigation Department approved our proposal and helped us redig the canals. Now 13 villages use the working canals, and soon 20 more villages will benefit from this project.
Knowledgeable project staff follow through the Village Development Partnership from start to finish. First, they establish a multi-day brainstorming session where the villagers create an overarching community needs assessment which identifies basic needs for quality of life improvement and sets tangible objectives that the villagers can attain, both short-term and long-term, which is followed by an eye-opener trip where the villagers see other successfully implemented VDP projects. The next step is the establishment of the Village Development Bank, where the sponsoring company contributes capital while the villagers contribute labor.
The Village Development Bank is set up after the villagers plant trees. The reason for that is we want to teach financial discipline. Financial discipline means money is not free. Nothing is free in this world. You have to work for it. The village plant trees as a community to earn income.
Our VDP sponsor is a Samitue hospital in Bangkok. Some of our employees and doctors came here and we planted over 10,000 trees to generate bank savings. For every tree we plant, we get $1.25 in our Village Development Bank. It was great. We're all very excited and eager to start our VDP.
This Village Development Bank has compulsory savings and becomes the microcredit fund, which is managed by an elected committee. Capital earned by the village remains and grows as funds are loaned out to small businesses in the community. This is significantly different from the majority of microcredit models because the Village Development Bank is owned and operated by the villagers themselves. Also, the microcredit loans from the Village Development Bank are at 1% per month as opposed to 10 to 20% from moneylenders.
When you are poor, you have no collateral. But what you do have is labor. So if somebody says, look, I have labor, it's a factor of production, why don't you lend me some money based on my labor? The banks don't do that. So we say that for those living in poverty, the only way to get them out of poverty is to let them borrow money, access to credit as a human right.
Loan repayments occur in cash. However, if a small portion cannot be repaid, villagers can repay in labor based on the daily basic wage. Loans can only be used for income-generating activities such as organic pig raising, rice milling equipment, rice farming, vegetable and fruit growing, handicrafts, electronic repairs, and tourism. A significant portion of the bank profits go towards funding community activities that benefit health, education, and the village environment. Some examples are the Garbage Recycling Bank, educational scholarships, and IT skill development.
Our village has really changed since the VDP started. People know how to save and invest now. The quality of life has improved and the attitudes of people have changed towards business and the community. My wife and I have even been able to send our 2 daughters to college. I know both of them will have great lives now. That makes me happy.
During the entire process, the project staff provides monitoring and training to ensure development is being conducted appropriately.
We have field officers that go into the villages regularly to manage and follow up on projects being implemented by the communities. They visit each village every 2 weeks, sometimes even more if a village needs additional support in a particular area or are in the process of setting up big projects. The VDP centers are also responsible for capacity building and Barefoot MBA programs.
There are also plenty of opportunities for the sponsoring company to get involved if they so desire.
Someone that gets involved is able to really see the results. I get a report on how they're doing. I'm able to go into the villages. I know that I'm working with wonderful people here. The biggest reward that I've gotten out of this is just the satisfaction of being able to give something back, and not just giving money, but being able to do something where I can really see the results.
If it weren't for the Blakely Foundation sponsoring a VDP in my village, my mother wouldn't have been able to take out a loan to expand her silkworm business. Without that loan, I never would have been able to go to college.
We came last year when the VDP had just started at this village, and we heard that the youth committee wanted a football pitch, so we thought what a great idea to raise money through an annual football match and to have the 9th Ian Thompson Memorial game played at the village. So the guys have come from UK, Hong Kong, Australia, Singapore, all over the place to play in today's game. We've just got to make sure that the Ian Thompson village wins.
Here are some examples of the impact the VDP has had on villagers' lives.
Through this program, I was given the opportunity to pair up with a non-HIV person to fight the stigma of my sickness and also to start a business. It is called a positive partnership. Together, we took out a loan of $720. We set up a chicken and duck farm. Our business is doing so well, we are now financially independent. Before, I was preparing to die, but I was given a second chance at life thanks to this program.
In 1990, the Swedish Motor Company proposed a partnership with our village. They said if we grew these trees, they would guarantee the purchase of all our crops. I decided to take a chance and took out a loan of $108. This loan covered enough seeds for the amount of land I had. Soon enough, we were producing so many trees that Swedish Motors could no longer keep the promise of buying all the trees. But it didn't matter, because we were already selling to people all around Thailand and even starting to export them. About 11 villages in this area now thrive off the tree business. A family can average about $30,000 a year. We sell trees to resorts, golf courses, hotels, parks all over the world. We're now working on preserving species, experimenting with varieties that aren't native to Thailand, and expanding our knowledge on growing techniques. After the tsunami, we replenished southern Thailand with all our trees. It was amazing. Who would have thought we could do something like that 20 years ago? We sent our 3 children to college. One of my daughters studied design in Bangkok, and she is now helping me set up our company website. And my son is finishing business school and wants to come help me improve my business. Of course I'm happy. I mean, how lucky can one man be?
The Village Development Partnership has been successful in providing the poor of Southeast Asia an opportunity to overcome poverty and live in a sustainable community. But there are still many villages out there which continue to struggle along under the heavy burden of debt and substandard conditions. For a simple contribution of approximately 100 per village resident, you can take part in this exciting opportunity to help the poor find their entrepreneurial spirit and the path to sustainability. This is a genuine philanthropic commitment to humanity.